Saturday morning. And that means it's time to catch up on the local and statewide high school sports scene. Welcome to High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1. Now, here are your hosts, Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And it's a great Saturday morning here on High School Sports Talk, live from the ESPN studios at the Max Media building. I guess that's what I would call it. But you don't hear Matt Hatfield. You hear the coach, Ed Young. I took the lead seat, and we're not going to make no secret of it. Matt is covering the state football playoffs in Lynchburg. We sent him on a long mission, got him some food, and he's going to be calling us in later. Actually, we're going to have him on as a guest twice today. So he goes from co-host and the main host. I call him the main host. He's the radio guy. I'm just a tag along. But today I'm in the main chair. So listen, people, get ready. Anything can happen when I'm at this situation. And there are buttons near me. And remember, one time I hit a button and all of a sudden we were on in China. Almost had some bad relationships with China because of me. But here's why this is going to be good today. I decided to make this studio look real good, smell real good, and put me in a whole different mindset. I have as my co-host today, Thomas, I went out and hit the jackpot, lottery secured. I got the most beautiful lady I can get in here. And I can't just leave it at beautiful because she's smart too. And that is Miss Tameka Paine, who is the cheerleading, do we say advisor or do we say coach? How do we say that? Say it again. Coach or advisor?
Either. I wear many hats. Whatever works best for
this
you.
This is the most beautiful. Here she is, Tameka Paine. Good morning, Tameka.
Good morning, Ed. How are you?
Now I got to make sure, because this is what Matt does to me. We got to get real close to the mic, bring it to you, however you want it.
Okay. Is this good?
That sounds even better.
Perfecto.
Our producer engineer extraordinaire Thomas is giving me the signal. Thomas Simmons is telling me to get her closer to the mic. So we got her closer to the mic because if Hatfield's listening, which I'm sure he is, he'll be critiquing us later and blowing us up for that reason. But I got Miss Tameka Paine in here today. I just wanted to do something different. And if I screw up, at least I have a beautiful lady to look at. Is that sexist to say that? Is that too?
It's subjective. I don't think so. We're good.
Okay. Well, if it is, people know me. I say what I say, and I wear it on the collar, so that's just the way I am. But we have Tameka's in here today, and we're going to, of course, today's championship Saturday. It's the high school state football playoffs are going on in Lynchburg. We do have two local teams, Lake Taylor and Phoebus. Yeah, and I'm picking both. Matt Hatfield picked one of the two. I'm going to let him get himself in hot water later. I'm picking both local teams to win a state title today. They're the only two teams that we have local in it. We'll go over all that's going to happen when we get Matt on here. Right now, I would like to take this moment to have Tameka go over some of the high school basketball scores in boys action last night, just in case you're getting up late and you haven't heard anybody. So she's going to go ahead and let's hear her voice on this.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. And I am ecstatic to be here with you guys. So we're going to jump right in and go over some of the high school scores. We're going to kick this off with Western Branch versus Nansemond River. Final score was Western Branch 69, Nansemond River 57.
Tameka, wait a minute. Why are you starting with the me losing? Wait a minute. This show just went south real quick.
Who better than you, Ed?
Oh, my God. She starts with me losing. I was happy and everything, and now I just got to relive a loss.
Listen, you're one of my favorite coaches. I thought that it wouldn't how could we do anything better than kick it off with you, right, Ed?
Okay, you want to get me out of the way. I get that. As most women would say, let's get him out of the way.
Get you out of the way. Would you like to hear some highlights?
Go ahead. I would lived it, but I'll hear him again.
Jaden Jefferson scored 19 points to lead number 5 Western Branch past the visiting Warriors. The score was tied at 28 at the half before the Bruins pulled away in the third quarter. The big thing for us was keeping Justin Fatherly, who is normally their leading scorer, to 7 points, Coach Paul Hall said. That was huge for us. DeMarcus Shepard did a good job on him. Do you recall that?
Okay, let's go to the next score. She even had to give the highlight. Thomas, I'm dying in here already. She's giving a highlight. I got another Matt Hatfield in here because he'd be killing me too right now.
No doubt. Kempsville versus Tallwood. Kempsville took the lead and they ran away with the score 64-61. Oscar Smith 73 versus Great Bridge 53. 20-point deficit. Sounds like a pretty good game.
Oscar Smith's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oscar Smith's
absolutely.
real good.
Raekwon Harrell had a double-double with a game high of 21 points and 13 rebounds to lead the number 2 Tigers on the road. Andre Bottoms and Kai Lockhart added 6 assists apiece. Pretty good game.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous because that's who we play next, Oscar Smith on Tuesday.
Have you done your recon aside from this, Ed?
Yeah, we'll do that today. We practice today and Monday. I get 2 shots to get our crew ready for this physically tough, demanding team in Oscar Smith. But
we're going to need you to tighten up.
Yeah, I'm going to tighten up because we were coming off a tough loss, our first loss of the year, so we got to tighten up.
It's okay. You're known for being prepared. All right, let's go to Granby versus Booker T. 74 Granby, Booker T 37. Jariah Sweat grabbed 18 rebounds and blocked for 5 shots. Wow. And brothers Antoine Epps and Jaden Epps combined for 40 points in the number 7 Comets rival.
Yeah, Granby will be a state contender this year.
Yeah, sounds good. Maury versus Narcombe. Maury ends at 51 to Narcombe 33. What are your thoughts there?
Maury will be a state contender in 5A,
Okay,
which is our division. Narcombe is rebuilding a little bit different than squad of what they have. They got a younger squad. I still think when it's all said and done in Division 4 at the end, they'll have something to say about it.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Cape Henry versus Lancaster. Cape Henry ends with 80 to 51.
Yeah, that's a blowout by all accounts. Cape Henry, one of the top private schools, one of the top programs, period, in the state, in the area. And Lancaster is a very good single-A team. Been in the States. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they ran it the last couple of years. And I think they won it last year. So, but still a discrepancy in talent base, Cape Henry. That doesn't surprise me.
Sounds good. Sounds like you know your stuff on Ed.
Trying to.
All right. We'll move to Kellam versus Princess Anne. Kellam ends with 75, Princess Anne 51. What are your thoughts?
That's one of my guys, Norm Hassel, coach of Kellam, always has those guys ready. They play one of the teams that don't make many mistakes. They don't turn it over. They're not willy-nilly crazy basketball. They execute very well. They're in the right position on defense. He always does a super job with those kids. And if you're not prepared when you play Kellam, then prepare to lose because that's what's going to happen.
Wow. I want you to think about this. Josh Talbert scored 22 points and added 8 steals and assists. And Mason Makovic had a double-double with 17 points and 10 rebounds. They had a great game.
That's Kellam. That's the Kellam guys. That's Norm Hassel's kids.
That's them for sure.
Yeah, he gets them going.
Okay. Green Run, First Colonial. Green Run ends 77, First Colonial 49.
We're going to hear from the Green Run coach coming up later in the show, Kenny Harris. That's another Division 5 possible state contender. I think they're that good. They're 5-0 already. They played 5 games already. Yeah, I mean, that's like just a month for some teams. So in a month, we're just starting. So we'll hear from Kenny himself, the one and the only Kenny Harris. He'll give us the scoop as why they're good, other than his coaching, which I'm not going to blame it on his coaching. I'm going to blame it on his kids.
Well, I can't leave out Ashley James, who led the Stallions with 20 points and 8 rebounds. Elijah Kennedy added 12 points and 5 steals off the bench as Green Run, 5-0, amassed a 45-25 lead at the half. You just said
that's
you're on
that's
it.
Green Run. Ashley James is going to.
That's standard, huh?
Yeah, James is a potential Hampton Roads Player of the Year.
Wow.
He's that good.
Sounds like it.
He's that good.
We'll go to Kempsville next. Kempsville versus Tallwood. Now, this was close. 64-61, Kempsville wins.
Yeah, give me some particulars. Is there any particulars on that game?
There are no.
We have nothing on that. That Kempsville is a surprise team this year. They're going to beat some people. They're going to beat a lot of people. They got a young kids. You know, they've been putting that program together. Taff Hickman, a veteran coach, has won everywhere he's been in a couple different states. He's coach Monty Williams, who played in the pros, and assistant coach right now, I think, in the NBA. So Tab knows what he's doing. He's got that squad going out. The reason I'm nervous is we have to play them in January. So I got to be ready in the distance for them, not right now. I got too many people in front of them right now, but that's a team I'm going to have to worry about. I saw them this summer, and they are vastly improved. And the reason it's a close game is because Tallwood is no slouch either. So that don't surprise me.
Well, you have some time to get prepared here. You got the entire month of December, and from what I've seen from your guys and you coaching, it's going to be pretty good.
Well, we're hoping. We're 2-1. Last night was a tough one to take because we fell apart in the second half. But we know what we did and why we did it, and we'll try to start fixing that today and Saturdays. We're a work in progress. We're going to be good. We're just not that good right now to play like somebody to keep up with Western Branch, who was a state runner-up last year in Division 6. So we know they're good. And we're just aspiring to try to get to certain people's levels.
That's right. Know the deficiencies and you work on it. All right.
Is that it for boys?
Yeah, that's it for boys.
All right. Well, we'll come back with some scores here a little bit later on. I do have, I think, in front of me, if I got my paperwork correctly, I'm going to throw these other scores out real quick. Jeremiah Foster hit 2 free throws to break a tie with 2.5 seconds remaining to give Kickingham a 66-64 win over Menchville in Peninsula District action. That was Menchville's first loss. You'll hear from Kickingham as the year goes on. That's another team, I think, in Division 5 that's going to be really, really good. Yeah, they're going to be there. Little Bay Rivers District action, I see where Rashad Tucker, 20 points, and Tori Robertson dropped 18 to have Smithfield. I know Keith, I know you're listening. Come on, I don't see a call in here. Come on now.
Saturday, Keith. Come on, Keith.
Keith, if you see the woman who's next to me, you would drive here right now with your call. You wouldn't do it on the phone. But Smithfield wins last night, 71-63 over Tab. They go to 3-1. Hunter Brownie's 14 points. Nate Doggett's 13. Helped Pocosa and Edge Ward Hill 46-45 Bay Rivers action. And also in the Bay Rivers, Raquan Barlett and Andrew McCurdy combined for 28 points as Bruton beat Lafayette 53-36. And let me see here. Hampton goes to 4-0. That's no surprise to me as they go 59-41 over Bethel. And also continuing on with Peninsula District, Denby beats Gloucester 71-48. And let's see, I got private score here. Walshingham Academy defeats North Cross out of Roanoke 70-55. That's in a tournament in Charlottesville. And that for right now.
Is that it?
I think right now, let me throw this out to Tameka. I got Grafton 68, York 47, Jamestown 79, New Kent 68, and let me see here. I think we did. I think that's if we missed your team score, then you call in and tell us. It's that simple. You want to hear a score that we didn't give, then you call in and we'll give it to you.
Absolutely.
We got too many other things going on here, and as again, my co-host is Miss Tameka Paine. She's the cheerleading advisor / coach with the Lakeland squad. Another thing I always notice with cheerleading squads and dance squads, they always have like a certain name, like the Glam Squad.
That's us.
Is that what yours is?
Absolutely.
Is that right? Oh my God, it's in my head.
Squad.
It seems like is that an occurrence by a lot of the teams' squads, or is that just based on if maybe that advisor, those girls come up with it?
I would say as an advisor, it's based on who your advisor is and the personality of the girls and the team collectively as a whole. I'd say as an advisor, it's based on your advisor and the team collectively as a whole and their personality overall. We've long gone with Lakeland Cavalier cheer team. So we were thinking, what could we change it to? And what could be more fitting for our team and the advisor as the Glam Squad? We even got new uniforms this year, glammed them out on the back of their warm-ups, and absolutely, it's a fitting name for the program.
Well, I'll tell you what, another thing I noticed with cheerleading is, is like over Nans River, and didn't tell me if it's at Lakeland too, we have a sideline squad, and then we have a competition squad.
Absolutely.
Back in the day, you never had that. You had a cheerleading team.
Absolutely.
And they did everything, but that's not no more.
That's not so. It basically depends on the team and the program that you are a part of. You guys happen to have both. You have sideline cheer as well as competition team. Some coaches want to focus on the competitive side of cheering, although oftentimes, we are not considered an actual athletic program. I don't understand when we do all types of things. But because your coach would like to specifically focus on that, you guys have managed to separate the program. We haven't made it there yet at Lakeland. Other teams and programs like Kings Fork, we're all still doing it all. We're doing sideline as well as competition, and it is a lot of work. But you do have schools out there that separate the programs. And as a coach and an advisor, there is a lot of benefit. It's quite advantageous to do so because you are now able to focus on the competitive side of the sport. And then you can get the girls that specifically want to do sideline cheer. So
okay.
There's definitely benefits to it.
Now you're getting the ins and outs of cheerleading. Who could have thunk it that we would be doing cheerleading on High School Sports Talk live here on ESPN Radio 94.1, brought to you by VirginiaPreps.com. No, you don't hear Matt Hatfield today. We kicked him out of the studio, sent him to state playoffs. I brought on Miss Tameka Paine, who is the cheerleading advisor at Lakeland, a person I've known for a while, and I just thought she would be perfect for a co-host. I want to do something different. And different it is, and I'll tell you what, it's so nice that she was able to give us time because she's all over the place too. She's not just doing cheerleading. You got your hands on a lot of different things. In fact, your young ladies, your girls, are in a track meet as we speak.
As we speak, they are. My daughter at Lakeland, who's a sophomore in the biomedical program, she should have just completed the 4x2. She has several events today. The 4x2, she's going to participate in the 4x4. She's going to actually run the 300 in the same heat as my other daughter, who's over at Nansemond River as a freshman, and she's studying engineering there. So they're both definitely in a track meet today. So mom is sacrificing right now, and they understand.
And I appreciate you sacrificing. Your daughters will be a little mad at me later, but they'll get over it. I'll hide from them. Hey, we're going to get ready. We got to take a break. We got a lot more to come here on High School Sports Talk here this Saturday morning. Stay tuned. Keep listening. We're going to take calls. We come back. Keith, when we come back, you're going to be on. You're listening to High School Sports Talk live, ESPN Radio 94.1.
Now back to High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1. Presented by VirginiaPreps.com. Here's Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
High School Sports Talk. I am your co-host, Ed Young. I am not Matt Hatfield. Matt Hatfield will come on here in a few seconds, but this weekend, this Saturday, it's me taking the lead mic, and I pass my mic over to the breath of fresh air. Let me just put it that way. Miss Tameka Paine, cheerleading advisor at Lakeland. And believe me, she has her hands involved in a lot of other things. She's not just a cheerleading advisor. Like I said earlier in the show, if you're just tuning in, I wanted to change this place around. We need curtains in here. We need a woman's touch. As over the break, Tameka says to me, Thomas, Ed, do you have any Kleenex? And I immediately start looking around. There's no Kleenex in any studio in this building that I just ran into 5 of them. So I had to go to the bathroom, grab tissue paper, and humble myself as I came back to this lovely lady and said, here, use this mess. So Tameka said she had a little rebuttal about that.
I do. I said to Ed, why is it that there is no Kleenex in here? There's hard hats, there's Boston Red Sox stuff, the room is painted red, all male type stuff. Patriots, I'm a Cowboys fan, I have to say that, so I love football and sports, but yeah, we do need some curtains. We do need a woman's touch.
She noticed the color in here. There was no. What did I've created a monster, but this is why I did it.
You totally have.
We need as guys. See, we just use our sleeve around here. If our nose runs, we just use our sleeve. We don't think nothing about it. We move on. Speaking of using her sleeve when her nose runs, let's bring in the normal main co-host of this. He's also, you hear him on the 757 at 6, the brand new Hot Sports Talk show. That is the #1 newest show in the state of Virginia. Yes, this guy has done it. I do get on him a lot because he deserves it, but I got to give him credit because he gets credit very few times, but he gets credit on this one. My co-host, Matt Hatfield. Matt, you there?
I am. Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Tameka. Good morning, Thomas. How are you all doing?
We're well. Good morning, Matt. How are you?
I am battling the cold, and some of the things you alluded to, or I should say Coach alluded to, involving sleeves, I have done this week, but I don't want to gross out the listeners too much. Getting ready for some doubleheader action as we've got coming up at noon here at Liberty University. Phoebus taking on the, I guess you can call them almost the home team, Heritage High School out of Lynchburg, and that'll be followed by Lake Taylor taking on Woodgrove in the state final. Two programs in Lake Taylor and Phoebus that played this year. It was a great game at Darling Stadium. Both have history of championships, with Phoebus going for its 8th since 2001, and Lake Taylor trying to capture its 3rd title since 2012. The last time they were here, though, at Liberty, he lost a double overtime heartbreaker in 2015 to Salem.
Well, Matt, listen, we're going to have you. We're going to actually have you on 2 segments today. This one, and then we're going to get you on to end the show. I do want to use this to talk a little bit deeper about these 2 local games, the Phoebus and Lake Taylor, the 2 games that have our local teams. But we got to bring in this guy first, and you know who I'm talking about, because I think he wants to talk a little football, probably a little basketball, and then we'll come back to you. But stay on, because I know he wants to talk to you. And that is Keith, the one and only Keith, no last name, from Smithfield. Keith, you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Matt? Hey, Young, how you doing, Tameka? How you doing this morning?
Hi, Keith. How are you?
I'm doing fine this morning.
Keith, boy, did we upped our standards in here, Keith. If you would see Tameka compared to me and Matt, like I said, you would drive here to talk instead of phone call.
Yes, sir. I'm also a Cowboy fan, Tameka. I'm a Cowboy fan.
Can I get you to say that? We'll talk about that Saints game in a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Yes. How about them boys, huh?
Yes, sir. I enjoy that game. The Saints knock them off, beat the Redskins Thanksgiving Day. I enjoy it.
And I think they're going to beat Philly tomorrow, too, so you're going to enjoy 2 weekends in a row.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. And I'm also to taste this win last night. We beat Tab last night. It was a good game. We came out the second half. We just put them away. Well,
you were at the game, right?
Yeah, I was there. I always go to I'm behind my Packers now. I don't let them boys down. I'll be there every game with the Packers.
Okay, so they're 3-1. They're looking good. And who do they play next? You know.
Matter of fact, we ain't lost a game yet.
Well, I thought maybe I'm wrong, but I'm looking at my report that was given me. Maybe Matt can chime in. I see 3-1 record.
Cape Hill was like a scrimmage game. It served like a benefit game. That game didn't count.
Oh, if it's a benefit game, you're right. It does not count, so that shouldn't be on the record.
Yeah, we undefeated. You know.
Well, that's scary because once again, that's another team I got to play later on in December. And Tameka's been reminding me about some other people I got coming up that are very good. So now, Keith, you remind me about an undefeated team that's coming up I got to play. I can't win no matter where I go.
Yes, sir. And also, I graduated some guys last night, Tucker and TJ, them guys last night. They played their butts off last night. And the other guy we got Saunders. Saunders stepped up last night. We got all guys stepping up for us. No, and not one player. We got everybody as a unit last night stepping up.
Well, like I said, you're putting it on under first-year head coach Theodis Porter. You're going to be good. I saw your team play in the fall league. You're going to be good. I just hope I can get the game in with you and get a win before you get real good, because I think Smithfield is going to be very good, as I said, in the Bay Rivers. Now, Keith, let me ask you this. State playoffs today. What's your predictions of the Phoebus game against Heritage of Lynchburg and, of course, Lake Taylor's game today? So what against Woodgrove? What do you got?
I don't call for those. I'm going to support the local guys. Phoebus and Lake Taylor today. Phoebus 24-14 and Lake Taylor 35-21.
35-21 Lake Taylor. What was your Phoebus score?
24-14.
44-14.
No, 24-14.
Okay, 24-14. That sounds a little bit more reasonable. We got Matt out there. Matt, you hear what Keith said?
I did not catch it. We got a lot of noise in the background. What was that again? All
right, he's got Lake Taylor winning and Phoebus winning. Both somewhat close. Lake Taylor, a couple touchdowns.
I could see that happening. As I think we talked briefly last night, if you had to give me percentages, I would say I feel about 70 to 75% good about Lake Taylor's matchup with Woodgrove, who's in their first state championship game in program history. Meanwhile, I'd say Phoebus, I would go a slight underdog, very slight. I think they have a great chance to win this game, but Heritage being in this championship spot a year ago, I think that experience matters, and then the way their quarterback, Jabari Blake, is playing as a dual threat. I think in a close game, he could make the decisive plays for them. But it would not surprise me the least if we came back with two teams from the 7-5-7 victorious today.
All right, Keith, you got Matt's expertise, and he's agreeing with you, but he's not going with Phoebus right now, but he won't be surprised if they win it.
Yeah, tell Jeremy Black, say good luck to him today, to him and Hank Soy, both of them coaches. Good luck.
I will be seeing Coach Blunt here on the field in pregame just a little bit.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a nice weekend.
Thanks, Keith.
Thanks, Keith.
You are.
The one and only Keith of Smithfield, the loyal guy. I think only one time he hasn't called in. He was under the weather or under the bed, one or the other. I don't know where he was, but he didn't call in one time. So
wherever he was,
he didn't call in. But I think we also have somebody else on the line, too. Do we have another Smithfield person on the line? All right, that's good. Who do we have on the line? Hello?
Hello. Hey, guys. How you doing this morning?
This is Barry?
Yes.
Barry, you're on with Tameka Paine, and, of course, your co-host, the guy that's speaking right now, Ed Young.
Good morning, Barry.
Good morning.
Welcome.
How you doing? I hear
we're good.
Y'all finally got a good-looking person in the studio there.
Barry,
right now, you fellas.
Barry, Barry, let me just tell you right
flatter
now,
me.
and I know I shouldn't keep saying this, but I'm going to say it the way it is. You have no idea. This is the first lady of cheerleading, and she's very, very easily the first lady of everything. I wish it's against the FCC rules that I could put a picture out of her because that would be sexist too. I'm telling you. I'm just letting you.
All this red tape.
There before noon.
What's that?
What is the address of the studio? I can be over there before noon.
Well, I tell you what.
He's on the way.
I got to keep everybody away from her because I want her to come back. I don't want to scare her away. I want her to be a co-host again. Barry, what's on your mind today?
I was going to say real quick, the teams today play football. Keith, the famous Keith, never gives himself credit. You should have seen him last night dressed in his three-piece suit. He was down there helping the coaches out. He was a sharp-dressed man, and I was very proud of Keith, how he looked, and he's a very good example for Smithfield out there last night.
Oh, he's the one and only. There's nobody else like him, and if he's got that three-piece suit, maybe he's the Smithfield version of Ed Young.
Yeah.
Okay.
The suit that I wore
absolutely.
The suit I wore for the first game knocked some people out. But to me, I thought it was like a light yellow.
Was it the yellow?
It was a lime color. I went a little bit over.
I heard about it.
Yeah,
it made its way around Suffolk.
I just want to. But Barry, Keith is a diehard supporter of you guys up there in Smithfield. There's very few like him, and it hurts him when those teams lose, and it hurts when he has to walk away because of some family issues that he can't give as much time. But you got a true fan in Keith.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Thanks for y'all's show. Y'all do a great job. And I say Phoebus today by touchdown.
Okay.
And Lake Taylor by 2 touchdowns.
I like that. I'm going pretty much that same way. I think I took Lake Taylor 28-14, and I took Phoebus 21-18. And then we'll get later on. I'm going to have Miss Paine give her predictions. She hasn't soaked it all in yet with the football, and I've kept the paper on my side, so she hasn't got a chance to really look at some of the things that Matt has. So I'm going to have to pass that over to her now,
I
Barry,
certainly appreciate it.
so that she can look. I don't want to leave her without full information. But Barry, we appreciate you listening and call back again in the future. Matt, you still there?
I am still here, guys.
All right, we had Barry speaking about Keith. I guess Keith was sharp-dressed man last night. Three-piece suit, they were telling us.
Yeah, and I appreciate Barry giving me an update on some of the scores last night. He hit me up with the Smithfield tab game we put out on our Twitter feed. So,
well, it had Smithfield at 3-1, Matt, and Keith says they're undefeated because the loss was to Cape Henry. Benefit game.
Yeah,
benefit games don't count.
Yeah, I think online that wasn't on our end. I think that's how it was printed online. But
okay.
That would be undefeated technically, yes. Just like the Eastern, just like we go into we don't have enough time to go into it today, but the Eastern District Tournament, those games do count on their overall record, but it doesn't count on their record for points.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was a little different about that tournament. I know you and I talked about it this week, and I had a very strong reaction to it in terms of why you doing it. If it's not going to count towards points, and you're just throwing another game against a third game against certain opponents that you're going to be playing them already twice. But I guess that's not a thing to go into right now. We could do that when basketball season gets here a little bit more. Right now, it's the championship Saturday. You're listening to High School Sports Talk here on ESPN Radio 94.1. I am one of the co-hosts, Ed Young. Our guest co-host is Miss Tameka Paine, her first time behind the mic as a guest host. You heard her call in before, but we never had her in a studio live, and she's kind of taken Matt's place. Matt, who you just heard and still hearing, is in Lynchburg. He's covering the games for the state playoffs. There's 6 of them. We're talking exclusively right now about the Phoebus and Lake Taylor in their 2 games. And then when Matt comes back towards the end of the show, we'll talk a little bit more about the other games. None of them involving local teams, but it's state championships. What's the feeling out there, Matt, with the locals?
Well, I think if you look at these 2 games, beginning with the Phoebus matchup against Heritage, they've been playing an outstanding defense all year long. A number of different players have stepped up, whether it's on the back end with Latrell Smith and Tylen Baldwin, a junior who has an offer from Rutgers, Corey Wilson at linebacker, who was the Peninsula District Defensive Player of the Year, or that great defensive front, which I think is their strength as a football team, with Joshua Austin, Austin Gilliam, Trevion Stevenson, and others. They're giving up just 9.2 points per game, but in comes the Heritage team here that has a lot of different weapons and can beat you a variety of ways and can score on you a number of different ways. As I mentioned, their quarterback, Jabari Blake, he is a special one. He's got over 1,900 yards passing, more than 1,200 yards rushing, combined 43 touchdowns passing and rushing. Then they have a tailback who's pretty good in KJ Vaughn, who's got over 1,400 yards rushing and 17 touchdowns, and that's coming after Elijah Lala Davis was a Virginia High School League record setter in the backfield, now making an impact as a freshman at Old Dominion. So you throw that in the mix along with Chris Meganson, a 2-way standout, wide receiver, defensive back, committed to Liberty. He's playing on his future home college field. Phoebus has their hands full defensively to stop them, but the key to me is going to be for Phoebus what kind of protection they give for quarterback Chris Daniels, who was just absolutely accurate as can be last week, 10 of 11, over 200 yards passing, and Barry Hargraves. If Jabari Blake's not the best player on the field in this one for Heritage Lynchburg, it might be Barry Hargraves of Phoebus, who has 16 touchdown catches on the year, 5 here in the postseason alone, and is a big threat in the return game, taking back kicks and punts. So I think this is a one-possession, down-to-the-wire type of game. To me, for Phoebus, it's going to be up-front offensive line, giving Daniels time to throw because they've morphed into a very balanced offensive team. And then for Heritage, it's going to be defensively, can they contain the running game for Phoebus, which can be really physical and strong and wear people down.
All right, now, Matt, we're getting close to break time, so we're going to take all what you just said, and Tameka has 2 questions for you.
I have 2 questions for you. You gave us a lot of information here, but just simplify it for us, Matt. Lake Taylor wins if?
Oh, good question, Tameka. Lake Taylor wins if they don't turn the football over. Plain and simple. The last 2 weeks against Eastern View and Lafayette, they didn't turn the football over at all, and we saw how lethal they were offensively in those games as they put up 35 points apiece. They're averaging on the year 44.7 points per game. They have a running back in Malik Newton, a sophomore, who's closing in on 2,000 yards rushing. So as long as their offense doesn't turn the ball over, I think they have too many athletes, too much weaponry, and it'll be hard for Woodgrove, a team that runs some single wing, runs some spread, plays a little bit like Stonebridge at the Class 4 level, to keep up with the Titans.
Sounds good. So Phoebus wins if?
Phoebus wins if they are able to dominate the line of scrimmage. If their defensive line can consistently get in the backfield and keep Jabari Blake from scrambling out of the pocket making plays, I think they win this game. And conversely, their offensive line has to give Chris Daniels time to throw and don't put themselves in 3rd and long situations, because if they do that, it could result in 2 or 3 turnovers against a Heritage secondary that's pretty good, has some talent, like I mentioned, and Chris Meganson headed to Liberty.
I think we're looking at Lake Taylor and Phoebus for the win here, guys.
That's what I'm going for. Now, Matt says Lake Taylor on his picks, but he's hedging his bets, and he's going to go with the Heritage Lynchburg over Phoebus. But Matt does say, not surprised if Phoebus takes it home. Matt, we got to take a break. You know you're coming back within an hour, so keep the phone charged. Don't let it go out. Don't lose it. And we'll get your thoughts on these other games coming up in the next segment we get you on.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you in an hour.
Thanks, Matt.
Chat soon.
Yep.
That was our regular co-host, Matt Hatfield. He's out in Lynchburg covering the state football playoffs. You're listening to the High School Sports Talk here on ESPN Radio 94.1. It's the co-host, Ed Young, and the new co-host, Miss Tameka Paine.
I am she.
Recapping another busy week of prep sports, it's High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1.
Welcome back. High School Sports Talk here on ESPN Radio 94.1. I am the coach, Ed Young. I am normally a co-host with Mr. Matt Hatfield. Matt Hatfield is on assignment during the state football playoffs this Saturday morning. It is state championship morning, day actually in Lynchburg. And my co-host today, our special guest co-host, is Miss Tameka Paine. I am calling her the First Lady of Cheerleading.
Hi, everyone.
She is the voice. She has changed the curtains We got a guy who's getting rid of the red paint in the last break. We're taking the red paint out of here. And I'm not sure what color he's putting up, but he's over there in the corner painting. We ordered some Kleenex boxes that were none in here. She's tired of hearing guys using their sleeves on radio. She's disgusted with that. So she's here to fix things, guys. And everybody's always says that, Ed Young this, Ed Young that. He's rough and tough and gruff, and he doesn't care about women's sports. I actually heard somebody say that one time. I brought in Tameka Paine to fix things, and there's a million people we could ask. But she came on my mind, and I said, I'm getting her in here. I told her once upon a time I would get her. I know she's very strong-minded. She has great ideas.
Yes, I am.
That's why I brought her in here. And I have no problem with her ready to change things. So that's why you hear Tameka Paine.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And right now you're going to hear from the head coach at Phoebus, one of the best, and he's got a squad again this year. Nothing changes with this guy. He's always on top, and if you're going to win championships, and he's not, you're going to have to beat him to try to do it. Let's bring in J.D. Daniel, head coach Phoebus boys. J.D., how you doing this morning?
Doing good, Ed, and yourself?
Man, I am on top of the world. I know I lost last night, but thank God I brought in this special lady as a coach because I didn't even know I played last night with her here. I've got Miss Tameka Paine. And, J.D., if you were here, you wouldn't even know what your middle name is.
Good morning, Miss Paine.
Good morning, J.D. How are you?
Doing fine, and yourself?
Doing well, thank you. Listen, J.D., before we get started, I want to point out how our guy Ed here had to preface his good morning to you with the fact that he had already lost. Did you pick up on that?
I did. I heard your earlier analysis of the game. Your first loss or your first game that you mentioned was him. And his loss. So.
It was all love. He's one of my favorite guys.
But JD,
Ed don't take losses too kindly.
But JD,
I know.
JD, there's a million scores. I bring in the young lady to be a guest host. We're paying her big bucks, and the first game she talks about is a Nansemond River loss.
Well, you mentioned that she was strong-minded, so what did you expect?
Well, that's right. I tell you what, she does keep me on my toes, and she don't hold nothing back. When she'll say it like it is, and she's critiqued my teams before when she's seen them play, and that's why I love this lady because she don't hold nothing back, and she humbles you, but it's in a good way.
What do the youngsters say, JD? Walk it like a talk it, right?
That's right.
All right.
As they say, be careful what you wish for. Look what I wish for today.
You got it. All right, JD, so let's jump right in. It's really so lovely to have you here as a guest on our show today. Would you please give us some background and history about yourself?
I've been at Phoebus for about 13, 14 years. Prior to that, I was at Bethel High School for another 12 years. Did a stint at Christopher Newport with the lady captains with Karen Barefoot as my point guard. Coached Allen Iverson. Coached some great guards. Probably my proudest achievement has been the last 10 years. Every kid that's left our program has went on to college, either play junior college, Division I, 2, or 3. So we're very proud of that at Phoebus High School.
That's outstanding. And so it's safe to say that you're a bit of a producer, huh?
Yeah, I would say so.
Great coach, great environment.
JD's a real humble guy. He's a humble guy. And don't forget, to me, I don't know if you know this, but his son, JD Jr., very, very good college player, led the nation in scoring at Howard University, finished up his last year, if I'm not mistaken, was last year at Tennessee. Is that right, JD?
Yes, University of Tennessee.
Wow.
What's JD doing now?
Oh, he's over in Greece playing professional basketball.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Tremendous.
Congratulations.
He deserves that.
Well, thank you.
Good job, Dad. So, JD, if you would, how about talking about some of your key players on the squad?
Well, it's interesting. I'm probably the deepest I've ever been since I've been at Phoebus. We have about 8 guys averaging 7 to 15 points a game. We've had 4 games. We're averaging probably about 85 a game. It allows me to play my style a little bit better because we're deeper, longer, harder, quicker, faster, stronger. Some of my key guys, one, I'll probably have to mention Kyrie Temple, who leads us in scoring 15 a game, 9 rebounds a game. He's a senior, 6'6", very athletic. He plays with 3-4s. Then we have Deontay Leach. He's 6'4", like 215. He plays with 4-4s. He averages 11 points, 14 rebounds a game. And then we have Adrian Patton, who is 6'7", he averages a little over 10 points a game and about 12 rebounds. That's primarily our strength. Our backcourt is strong and deep. I wouldn't say nobody's outstanding at this time, but we have some emerging all-state type players in that backcourt that's coming.
That sounds good. Sounds like balance across the post, huh?
It does.
Yeah, that's good, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Now, JD, let me ask you this, if I could butt in here. Any of those, and I'm sure the answer is yes, but anything you could tell us about in terms of offers or strong interest for some of your guys?
Yeah, Leach is receiving a lot of Division II interest, and Temple, he's probably going the junior college route, so he has probably about 4 or 5 schools, and he has Division I offers also, so if he comes through academically at the end, he'll be ready for that. And Patton, he's getting D2 interest also at this time.
And now, currently, where do you stand out record-wise?
We're 4-0. We go and play George West at Arthur Ashe Center up in Richmond today at 3:30.
Oh, so you're playing today, okay, at the Arthur Ashe Center in Richmond, okay.
It's a 757 versus 804.
Wow.
Who are some of those other games you know?
Yeah, Norcom plays John Marshall. After us, Oscar Smith plays Armstrong. And I don't know if Western Branch is playing or not today. But I know Oscar Smith, Phoebus, and Norcom are the last 3 games.
All right, now you've been in this before, though, right?
No, this is my first time in this event right here.
Okay, because I know they've had that. I'm pretty sure they've had that showcase before up there. And I played Western Branch last night. I don't remember Coach Hall mentioning that they were going to go there today. I don't know if they are or not, but I don't remember him saying if they were in it. But that's some pretty good competition, though.
Yes,
it really is. It's going to be good today. We're looking forward to it.
Now, you say you're 4-0. Who have you already played?
We've played Heritage, Denby, Woodside, and Ward.
So all Peninsula District teams.
All Peninsula District.
Do you guys, okay, today you're doing the showcase. Do you have room for any other non-districts in your schedule?
We're slam packed.
So this would be the only non-district game?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, we've already scheduled. We have we're doing a showcase at Booker T, Martin Luther King tournament there. And at this time, we don't have an opponent. We're doing the Allen Iverson Christmas tournament. We play Churchland at that event, and we added War Hill on the schedule. My previous coach, a head assistant coach, Coach Baker, who's now the head coach at War Hill, I had promised him a game.
Okay, well, JD, to wrap it up, Tameka has another question for you. I'm going to let her go ahead and take the mic again.
Okay.
Something about the Peninsula District?
How do you see the Peninsula District?
Well, Hampton is Hampton. They're 4-0. The surprise, I think, is Kickertan. They're 4-1 total, undefeated in the district. They had a big game last night against Minchville. Minchville is a very dangerous team. Great coach.
Always.
Brothers.
Absolutely.
They're very, very balanced. So at any night, anybody can, arise and really hurt you. And I just see Heritage is going to be up and coming. They're just off to a slow start. New coach, new program. And I think it's going to, I was telling Coach G at Kickertown, I said, I think it's going to be a hot top and a bottom. I don't think it's going to be too many middle guys. So I look at Kickertown, Minchville, Woodside, us, and Hampton in reference to battling for those top slots.
Well, and it sounds like those younger teams, those other teams got a lot of younger guys, a couple of new head coaches that could throw a monkey wrench into everything also.
Yeah, but, just like I tell my players, what happens in November, December, January is good. But in February, you better be playing your best basketball.
That's correct. Playoff time.
Well, I know, JD, you will be. There's no doubt about it. You got that squad and, of course, the veteran leadership of yourself. And I've gone against you in the past, which is why I'm not going against you in the future. I wise up when I'm looking for W's, not L's. So you will not see me on your schedule for a while.
All right. Yeah,
All right. Hey, JD, I appreciate you, man, coming in, giving us a moment's notice and getting on here. Good luck to you today up there in Richmond.
Thanks so much, JD. Good luck. You guys have an awesome game.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too.
That was head coach of the Phoebus boys basketball team, J.D. Daniel. He's got a good one, Tameka. They're going to be Division III, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to be competing for, I really think they're going to compete for state title. And it could be a boys football state championship, obviously, and then the boys basketball. Who knows? But I know one thing right now. We got to take a break. But bills got to be paid. Thomas is throwing bricks at the window. So you're listening to High School Sports Talk here on ESPN Radio 94.1.
This is High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1.
And welcome back to High School Sports Talk here on Saturday. Beautiful Saturday morning, a little chilly out there, but it's December. What do you expect? I am your co-host today, Ed Young. Normally I'm the co-host anyways, but I sit in the other chair with the smaller mic that my other guy, Matt Hatfield, gives me. He gives me all the bad equipment, the bad headset. Today, my special co-host, Miss Tameka Paine, I still gave her the other mic because I can't switch mics, but I gave her the better headset and I gave her the better chair, and she's going to take care of this next interview.
You were so good.
Yeah, this next guy coming on is going to be familiar with her somewhat, should be. If not, he'll be put straight by her. And that is the head coach of the Lakeland boys team, off to another hot start. We just had J.D. Daniel from Phoebus. He's 4-0. This guy, if I'm not mistaken, I think is 3-0, and that is Clint Wright. Clint, you out there?
Yes, good morning. How are we doing today, Coach
Clint?
Ed and Coach Paine? How are you?
Hey, Clint, how are you? Good morning.
Doing real good. What's happening?
Clint, I figured since we were getting you on, I had to go out and search for the perfect co-host, special co-host, because Matt's up in Lynchburg with a football, and I came up with Tameka, and I thought it would knock Clint right out of the box, thinking, wait a minute, I see this lady a lot and talk to her a lot, so that's why I decided to bring her in and talk to you.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I listen to the radio show every Saturday, and I said that voice sounds fairly familiar. And then once the name started being mentioned, I was like, yeah, I know Coach Paine very, very well. Attends all of our basketball games, or a vast majority of our boys basketball games, and definitely excited to hear her on the radio station on this morning.
Well, Clint, what I'm going to do, because I'm going to have to jot down notes. She's going to try to get some X and O out of you, because I do got to play you a couple of times this year, maybe even 3. Right. And I told her Clint never gives me any help. He never sends me a tape about his team. He never sends me his practice schedule. I said, maybe you can coerce it out of him in some manner. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let Tameka handle this interview.
Clint,
okay.
I want you to know, I have to preface what we're going to talk about with this. My loyalty lies to you. I need you to know that. Ed has been trying to do some recon. We're going to go through some things because for our listeners, we want them to get to know you a little bit better. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us some history.
Okay, this is my 7th chapter here at Lakeland High School. Definitely had an exciting tenure, having an exciting tenure here. Prior to Lakeland, I was at Nansemond Suffolk Academy for approximately 2 years, and then prior to Nansemond Suffolk Academy, I was at Kings Fork High School for about 4 years, and then prior to that, it was Nansemond River. So systematically, I've coached at all of the 4 high schools in the city of Suffolk, and I definitely consider it a great joy to have done just that.
Sounds pretty good. So let's talk specifics in terms of your key players on the squad.
Well, again, I've got 15 key players. I think all of my players play a vital role from practice to games. Definitely the selection process this year was a very tough one. Thankful to my coaching staff and the selection, the key plays and the key players that we needed to be successful in this season. We ended up having 15 players. Definitely, we've got about 8 players that could easily lead us in scoring at any given time. We can go down the line with the Quentin Livingston, Raymond Bellamy, Kimari Artis, Luciano Hamlin, my son Clint Wright, Jaron Reed, Sean Mitchell, Bravion Campbell. Any of these players could easily lead us in scoring at any given time based on the type of situation that we find ourselves in. But all 15 players play a vital role in our success, and we're looking forward to having a lot of success in the upcoming season.
All right, that sounds good. Okay, so I want to get a little bit more down into this regarding the players. So we hear you run a real tight program over there at Lakeland, where people are pretty impressed with the direction this program is going in. Collegiately speaking, is there any interest in your players in terms of playing at the next level?
Well, officially, Quentin Livingston is the only player that has received a college offer from North Carolina A&T. We're hopeful that because these guys are academically sound and can play at the next level, be it Division III, II, I, or NAIA, that the other 6 or 7 guys would have that vested interest too. We feel that playing quality basketball teams at colleges will come and see those players, and then we would kind of, at least get the notice at that time. We had a very successful summer, playing in a lot of summer leagues and team camps and things like that, where colleges can have that opportunity to see these systematic players that do things very well. But again, we're hopeful for that opportunity, and we'll definitely welcome it with open arms.
All right. So let's talk a little bit regarding your thoughts about the district. Where do you feel you guys lie within the district? We know that you guys are, I want to say, 3-0 right now. What do you think about the district?
Well, our goal is to be relevant. Last year, this team could have probably played a JV level schedule. Definitely, we're grateful to have everyone back. A little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, but most notable, the absence of fear. I thought that a lot of times we played with the deer in the headlight looks, with teams that had, like at Nansemond River, the Crazies, with the noise that they can bring, the Western Branch, and places like that. It kind of had us a little bit shaken to a certain extent. So I think our success this year will be predicated on just not being afraid. We have the absence of fear. If a team's going to beat us, they're going to actually be stronger or more skilled. It won't be that we're a little bit tentative in what it is that we do. I think the Southeastern District gives us a tremendous experience from top to bottom. At any given time, any team can win based on, where you are. So it helps us into our regional play. We're the only 3A school in our district. So it prepares us for the 3A regionals, where we only play, our level of teams. Consequently, Western Branch, Grassfield, Oscar Smith have opted to only play us once this year because 6As had the option to opt out and play in the 3As. And so we've replaced them with York, Ocean Lakes, and Matoka. So we're definitely excited at what the Southeastern District brings. We're hopeful that we'll be in the top echelon, of that district, and definitely be a relevant ball club come season's end.
That sounds good, Clint. I want you to know I have to say this because my co-host Ed is here and you're on the phone. Are we ready to go head-to-head on January the 4th with Nansemond River?
Well, it's always a pleasure and an exciting opportunity to play against Nansemond River. For one, that's where I started. I'm under Coach Frankie Chapman, and I had 1 year, with Coach Young. So it's always a pleasure. It's always an exciting moment, almost to that butterfly effect when you're playing any of the local, from Nansemond River to Kings Fork. I think it's great for the city, that all 3 teams have gotten off to a phenomenal start. We've got this exciting Christmas tournament that's going to surface, towards the end of the month, where Smithfield is 3-0, and Ed, of course, didn't score enough points last night, but it's still a quality ball club. Kings Fork's undefeated, and of course, Lakeland is undefeated. So I think that, to me, should bring sellout type atmosphere and super excitement. So yeah, we'll be prepared with the Christmas tournament to what, and seeing Ed, and he'll see myself to what January the 4th will bring. So we're super excited about basketball within the city of Suffolk.
And the thing about it is, before January 4th, we might see each other that 29th.
That is correct. Yeah. That is correct. I think that's, those collections of games where Smithfield starts off with Nansemond River, and then we play Kings Fork. You can't ask for anything better. You can't ask for a better situation, and prayerfully there will be no injuries, anything like that, that will take place prior to, so that each team will be at full strength. And again, I think the love of basketball that's within the city of Suffolk, they'll get an opportunity to see just what it's like, come, the end of December. And we're expecting to potentially put on a show, and I'm sure the other 3 schools are going to attempt to do the same thing.
Sounds good.
Well, our crowd with D Creek at our first game of the year was tremendous. It reminded me of years gone by. And last night, atmosphere at Western Branch was just ridiculous. The Bruin Crazies, I think everybody in the school was there. The one on the side completely filled, and behind us was filled. It was a great game. Tied at halftime. We just did some bad things in the second half. They pulled away. That's the team they are. but we just didn't show up like we should have. And as you said, you're 3-0. Kings Fork is winning. Smithfield's 3-0. That tournament at the end of the month, if everybody can keep doing what they're doing, should bring those crowds back. And, I've coached all over the world, too, it seems like, and there are no crowds like Suffolk. When the Suffolk teams are hot and those people are in there, it don't take a backseat to anybody.
Correct. I think it's going to be a phenomenal atmosphere. And I think as Coach Height and Coach Porter and you, Coach, and myself, I think we prepare our players for that. I do think that last year we were a little bit tentative in playing amongst crowd, but I think we're going to now welcome that opportunity. I truly believe that. And again, we're definitely excited. We've got a couple more games to play, prior to that event taking place, but we're definitely excited, looking forward to the gifts that's going to be given out come the end of the year.
Yeah, we have too many games in front of you right now. I got to focus on another powerhouse, one after another. I've got Smith on Tuesday, and I got to turn right around and play Branch again on Thursday. So it'll be crazy for us. So I ain't putting Lakeland in the headlights yet. Plus, Tameka, the questions I gave Tameka, she didn't ask one of them. I asked for out-of-bounds plays. I asked for in-depth offensive analysis.
No way.
And philosophy on defense. He crossed them all out and asked anything but. So, once again, I'm going to have to go do all the work on my own.
Yeah, I think, Coach, you're going to have to send your scouts out to your coaches out to check out what it is that we do, and we're going to do likewise. Again, I do think that the talent level is going to be extreme throughout the district and throughout the region, and if you don't have your coaches at least getting an idea of what teams are going to do, then you'll have to coach it on the fly, during that game, which is also a great feeling to be able to coach on the fly and to make in-game adjustments. I give a lot of tributes and accolades to my staff that helps me to make adjustments and assessments throughout the game, even with substitution patterns and things like that. Virtually impossible to be successful at this level without a staff that helps you with plays and player personnel packages and things like that. So definitely, I don't do it all alone. There are some folk behind the scenes that definitely keep me uplifted and help me with my day-to-day basketball operations.
And to make it a show, things are connected. One of those staff guys, I call him the trader, is a kid, a guy. I keep calling him a kid. He's a man, but he's a guy that played for me back in the day. One of Suffolk's all-time greats, led of the state of Virginia's all-time greats, and Tony Smith. Clint's right-hand man. And let me just say this, too, because we got him on here, and he's too humble. But Clint Wright doesn't take a backseat to anybody in his play with John Yates High School. I coached against him. He played at Norfolk State, was legendary at Norfolk State, and he's doing a job in the coaching field. And his nephew, Nick Wright, played for me, was one of the guys I dearly love, one of my players that we always connect, and his niece, Nikki, was my head manager for a few years, and boy, she was something to deal with. Love her dearly. So you see all this Suffolk connection, and what happens, we have to go and battle each other and hope that somebody loses. But I'm going to wish you the best, Clint, in every game, but when you play me, and then I hope that you make every mistake in the world possible, and Smith forgets everything, and that we can beat you. But I'm hoping for a Region 3 championship for you this year, and I mean that all sincerely.
Hey, let's speak that into existence. Let's do that.
All right, my man. Look, I got to let you get going because we got to pay more bills. Hey, let me real quick, Clint. How's Miss Tameka doing so far?
Hey, she's doing great. I think you or Matt got your work cut out for you. I think the listeners are going to start chiming in and want Tameka to show up periodically. So you guys may want to be careful for how good she does it. I think you guys may want to look over your shoulders, man. You might have some competition showing up.
I'm going to take
Thanks for that support, Clint.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to – I take all that, and I heard him say Matt and cut out. So we're going to cut out Matt Hatfield permanently. I like that, Clint. Thank you for doing that.
I am in line for a career adjustment. How about that?
Hey, Coach, wishing you much favor, man, in your season.
I appreciate it too, man. And if I don't see you, have a good Christmas, and we'll see each other soon enough.
Thanks, Clint. See you soon.
All right, take care. Talk to you guys later.
All right.
Clint Wright, head coach, Lakeland boys, 3-0, doing it up. I got to deal with them later. Right now, we got to deal with some break here so we can pay some bills. You're listening to High School Sports Talk here on ESPN Radio 94.1. Come back. Tameka Paine is here.
Now back to High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1. Presented by VirginiaPreps.com. Here's Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Welcome back to the show. This is High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1. We are live. Thomas Simmons is making everything happen behind the glass. No, you don't hear Matt Hatfield. The promo or the intro was half right. You do hear the coach, Ed Young. I'm on the lead mic today. And on my mic is that I'm normally on is our special co-host, and that is Miss Tameka Paine, who has been handling her duties very well in her first time ever. She's a little nervous coming in here. I don't know why. I don't pick nervous people. I pick people that know what they're doing, and she definitely knows what she's doing, handle herself like a pro. She is the first lady of cheerleading in the world. But I'm starting to think now we might have to give her first lady of sports talk, high school sports talk. I think I like it. Yeah, nobody's ever had that title, and I think that's going to be your title.
You can append that here.
We'll do that, and we've already had some people. Some of our guests have already said we got to bring her back. So. Boy, did I create a monster. I really shouldn't use the word monster. That ain't right to project that towards this young lady.
It's totally okay, Ed. I know you mean no ill will.
No, what I'm saying is I hate to see Matt Hatfield go. I hate to see the guy. He knows a lot. And, we're sponsored by his outfit, VirginiaPreps.com. He is the CEO, the chief, commander, janitor, and everything for that outfit. So, but I ain't going nowhere, so we're going to have to eliminate one of us. So
perhaps Matt could be the voice of ESPN Talk Travel Radio.
Yeah, we always send him on that's what we do. We always send him on a mission. He's already got a big-time show during the week. This 757 at 6, Monday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock. Tune in and listen, because I'm telling you, y'all missing something if you're not listening to him, because he comes in right after the Nick Cattle show, the main show on our ESPN Radio waves here. So right after Nick is Matt. So tune into both. You want all your sports, national, local, interesting stuff. And remember, as a guest, we make you a star. You call in and you whatever you want to talk about. Same with this show here, 757-687-9494. I'm telling you out there, guys, and I know it's predominantly guys listening, you got a chance to speak to Tameka. Her plate is full. I ain't giving out her number. I'm one of the very fortunate few. I got her number, so I could talk to her as need be, and she's been a really good friend for me in a lot of different veins, both personal and professional. So I appreciate that, because I'm one person that needs guidance, and she's able to give it.
Thank you, Ed. I'm definitely here for you.
And, hey, we're going to bring in, speaking of guidance, here's a guy that needs guidance all the time. Not so much in coaching. But when I listen to his wife from at home, he needs guidance because he doesn't do the dishes, doesn't know how to run the vacuum cleaner, never irons his clothes. Okay, and Miss Harris has to do a lot with this guy, but he's all over the place. But I know one thing, he can coach a team, and I think his squad is 5-0 right now. How they played so many games is unbelievable, but they're 5-0, and that's the Green Run head coach, Kenny Harris. Kenny, you there?
Yeah, how you doing, Coach Young?
I'm good, my man. I'm good. You feeling all right today?
Oh, man, feeling good. Just trying to stay warm.
Okay, well, your wife will take care of that for you.
No,
she'll just throw you an extra blanket.
There you go.
Yeah, you thought I was going somewhere else with that. No. We can't discuss that kind of stuff on the air. So.
Not at all. We're keeping our heads above water here. Hey, Kenny, how are you?
Kenny, that's Tameka Paine. I got Tameka in here.
How you doing, Miss Paine?
I am doing exceedingly well. How about yourself, Kenny?
Oh, I'm fine. I hear a lot about you, and one time I heard you was talking about you was at a cheerleading competition. I think you're doing a great job.
Kenny, how about that? Can you
that.
believe I bring in a cheerleading advisor? With some of the wars I've had with cheerleading advisors over the years, and what my original thought about cheerleading was, which I never told Miss Paine.
It's not a sport.
It is a sport. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But anyways, I got her in here. How about that? Am I growing or what?
Yeah,
you're growing, but cheerleading is one of the toughest sports, man. That's the leading injuries, man. So my daughter cheers, so I know how hard and the work they have to put in to be great at it.
Well, Kenny sounds quite versed in this.
Well, his daughter's a cheerleader, so number one, that's right.
Where's your daughter? We need to get you a daughter.
She's at Green Run. Yeah.
Okay, outstanding. They got a pretty good cheering program also there.
Yeah, they do. Miss Evans do a great job.
Oh, yes.
And she's one of two assistant coaches in the Harris household, Mrs. Harris and young daughter Harris.
Definitely. They always want to tell me what I'm doing wrong. I can never tell them what they're doing wrong, though.
Well, Kenny, I'm going to turn a little bit of the first part of this interview over to Tameka. She has some questions for you.
Okay.
Kenny, welcome to the show, and hello again.
Yeah.
Have a few questions for you here. Why don't you give us and our listeners a little history about yourself?
I've been in from a small town called Danville, Virginia. I went to a high school at GW Danville where I played baseball and basketball. Won a state championship there in 1998 in basketball. Then I moved on to Norfolk State where I got my degree and played a year with baseball under Marty Miller, who's the athletic director now over there. And then I started my basketball coaching career at Churchland High School under P.J. Honore for a few years doing JV. And then I did a one-year stint at Wilson when Donnell Hammond gave me the opportunity there. And then I got lucky and landed a job at Green Run where I've been there for 11 years now.
Wow, that's pretty extensive. You mentioned PJ Honore. I have to smile at that. I have a connection to PJ. He does a lot for my cheer program in terms of outfitting us, the Glam Squad. He's pretty awesome.
He definitely is, and he does some business with us as well. I mean, he actually got me really going and taught me a lot when I was coming up, especially when I was fresh getting out of college. So, he actually taught me the professional part of it, and I appreciated him a lot.
Never forget your roots, right, Kenny?
Yep, never will.
All right, if you don't mind, may we venture for a moment into some specifics about your key players?
Yes, I have senior guard Ashley James. Right now he's averaging about 23. Been playing excellent for us. He's been there playing since he's a freshman, so he's definitely coming along. And I have a point guard in Jacob Cooper since he's a sophomore, second year starting. He's our catalyst, our head of the team. I have a guy named Kyrie Smith Ween. He was with us for a little while as a freshman. He had to go to North Carolina a little bit because his mom is in the military, but he came back home, and he's definitely fit in with what we got going on. I have my captain, Amarius Elliott, senior. He didn't play a lot last year, but he stepped in the role and as a leader and a very good role player for us. And I have a lot of sophomores and George Wilson and Elijah Kennedy coming off the bench. Those guys are just working hard for us. So we pretty young, but we also have some senior leadership.
Yeah, it sounds good. I'm looking back over the information regarding you guys playing that game against First Colonial. 77-49 was the ending cap for that. You mentioned Ashley and Elijah. They put in some work that game, huh?
Yes, he did. Ashley, he had a decent game, 20 points. He's electrifying sometimes. I think half of the people that come to games sometimes just see if he's gonna get a nice dunk. But Ashley does more than that. He defends well. He rebounds. He's an all-around player. Elijah is coming into his own. I mean, he's getting more confidence as we play. He's our sixth man, and he's becoming to be an outstanding player. That's going to be a name that people's going to hear in the near future.
Sounds good. So, talk to me, Kenny. How do we assess the Beach District?
Oh man, Beach. Since I've been there, it's getting strong. Even with FC, the score, although the score was they gave us a good half, they were a point guard away from really being tough. They got one kid, eBay. He had 19 last night, and he's averaging about 20. And then you got Kellum. They got that phenom in Josh Talbert. He's tough. They gave us a very good game the other night. And Princess Anne is coming up in the rankings, which Coach Cofield over there doing a good job trying to get those guys to compete. Kentville is a sleeper. They're coming up, and definitely, Cox being a state semifinals last year, they have guys coming back, and then the heavy hitter in Lansdowne, they have Mike Christmas and Coach Dwight Robinson. Always had that program in top of the beach every year. So, I think this is a very competitive district. You have to come to compete every night. The fans, beach fans, we don't have a beach tournament anymore. But when beach teams play, you still get that beach atmosphere and definitely competing against each other.
Okay, so we've assessed the beach, but I have another question for you here. More importantly, with you being a perennial, how does Region 5 shape up regionally?
Oh, man, Region 5.
Talk to me.
Well, you got that man beside you. I've never played him, and I don't want to ever play him, because he knows so much about the game and Coach Young. So Nasman River is definitely coming along. I know he had a tough loss yesterday. I know you don't want to hear that, but I know he had a tough one. But he's competing, and then you have Maury and Hampton and Norview. So it's tough. And next year we're going to 18 teams or something like that. So I hope they can put more teams in the tournament next year. But making that top 8 this year, it doesn't matter 1 through 8. Like last year in Region 5, the 8 seed beat the number 1 seed. So the seeds doesn't mean anything. Is when you get in, it's a 0-0 record. So, our goal is to get in there and definitely compete. But Region 5 is very tough.
Okay. I hear you. Well, you guys are definitely one of the faves regionally, and I don't believe that it's too far-fetched to say that you guys quite possibly may make an appearance at state. But if I could ask, Kenny, what's the one thing your team must keep in focus in order to maintain success this season?
Well, just being at it, our goal, and we've 11 years never made state, and that's our goal every year. We just gotta make sure we get over that hump. Getting better, and this we haven't reached our peak, and we hoping we reach it at the right time. But just staying motivated and getting through adversity when it comes. One thing I've been learning about this team is when teams are playing us right now and they go up, our kids are handling it well, and hopefully they can continue that. But we just want to make sure we keep getting better and competing, because if around January and February is definitely when if you hadn't got better, it's hard to get over that hump, and we try to make a tough schedule. And playing our non-district schedule. I have put Granby up there and Woodside. So we have some teams up there that we think can really get us ready for the playoffs.
Well, Kenny, I tell you what, we got to have to wrap this up again. It seems like these breaks keep coming quicker and quicker. I'm listening to you and Tameka. I'm listening to both of you talking. And Kenny, my attitude hasn't changed. You guys will be in the regional playoffs. There's no doubt about it. You keep that team needed, oiled as they need be. It's tough and not easy, no gimmies. You will be there. I predict you, Maury, your arch nemesis Hampton, I think they'll be there. Kickinton, I think, is going to be a player this year. Salem is rebuilding, but hey, they came out of nowhere last year and won the doggone thing from the 8th seed. As far as us, I'm trying to get to 500. Can we get there? Boy, I pray. We're working every day for it. And I'm trying to get my guys to be unfearful, and we're not worried about anybody. Right now, bright lights blind us a little bit, but trust me, we'll be ready. And if we're one of those 8, I'm just going to say this: you don't want to play us later.
I hope it's not me.
Well, look, Kenny, I don't want to play you either because you're too much of a friend, and one of us got to lose in that game. And I'm a poor loser, so I know I don't want to lose. So, but I do. I wish you the best until you play us. I'm going to wish you win them all, and keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, you're one of my good friends in the business, and I'm learning from you too. And I know you've always said that I've helped you, but trust me, you've helped me in this business too. So I appreciate you coming on, spending time, and we're going to talk again soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate having me.
Good luck with the team, Kenny. Have an awesome Saturday.
All right, you too.
Okay.
And tell Miss Harris to lighten up on you.
I will. I definitely need to tell her that.
And
loosen the reins.
Doing great.
Get her on the dance floor. Get her on. I saw your moves on Facebook. Get her on the dance floor.
I don't pull them out often.
And stop trying to copy my doggone moves.
Sharing moves.
Okay.
All right, Kenny.
All right.
That was the one and only. Kenny Harris, head coach of Green Run. They're off to a 5-0 start. They're going to win a lot more at Tameka, and he's going to be in that regional tournament.
That.
And maybe this year he can finally bust that bubble and get into that state tournament. He's well deserved. Hey, we're going to have to take another break. We're going to go to break right now, and I think Matt Hatfield will be coming on this last segment. We're to the last segment already? I feel like we just got started. Tameka, what radio station is that you can hear high school sports talk on?
94.1 ESPN Radio.
Recapping another busy week of prep sports, it's High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1.
Good morning to everybody out there. This is the one of the co-hosts that was introed. This is the Coach Ed Young. My normal co-host is not in studio, but he's going to come on here in another few seconds. But I do want to make sure everybody knows that we've had a special guest host today, and she's handled that position, I think, tremendous, and in some ways better than I do. I can't believe I just said that.
Oh, look at you, Ed.
Oh, my God, I just said, Thomas, I just said.
Humility here.
Thomas Simmons, our producer, engineer extraordinaire. I just said Tameka's doing a better job than Ed Young. Why didn't I say better job than Matt Hatfield? What am I doing?
Trying to save Matt's job, too. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to save Matt's job. But we had one of our guests, Clint Wright, said, I heard him say the phrase, Matt Hatfield cut out. Somewhere it was in there.
Are you sure that was Clint?
I think it was somehow,
We got it on recording.
It's on the recording. Yeah,
I can always
we can play that back.
A lot of times in the media world, when you get interviewed by media, you have to be careful what you say because they'll take something and chop it up.
No
so
doubt.
I just did that.
Absolutely.
Matt Hatfield.
You put your own spin on it.
Yeah, so I just
the
did.
warrior spin.
People have done that to me in the past on some of the people that have interviewed me and had to get a little testy with some of those people because I got to keep them straight. I just got to keep them straight.
Stand your ground.
Stand my ground. And speaking of ground, he's covering the football ground in the state playoffs this fine Saturday, Championship Saturday. I'm bringing him back, our co-host, the leader of this show, and that's Matt Hatfield. Matt, you there?
I am, guys. Good morning. I just made my way all the way back up from the field here. A lot of steps. Nice atmosphere here, good little crowd, and just a beautiful campus here at Liberty University. They've done some changes here to this place since I was last here when Lake Taylor lost to Salem in double overtime in 2015, which would explain why my walk was longer because I got lost twice. So
I can see you getting lost, and as far as the exercise goes, you do definitely need it. So.
Hey, if I don't lose weight today, I'll never lose weight.
I was going to say, the way you're moving around today, but of course, then again, you're going to kill the spread. I already know that. Have you know where the food is yet?
I have not, but I'm going to ask my colleagues here. I got Marty O'Brien, like two seats down to my right. I'm sure he will direct me in the right place.
Marty knows where there's free food, and if there's free food, Matt Hatfield will be there.
Good food, good scenery, good football. I hope you got the Fitbit, Matt.
Yeah, both coaches for this first game, Brad Bradley of Heritage and Jeremy Blunt of Phoebus, pretty confident, and you would expect that. You're to a state championship game, you're 13-1, but I think this is, of the 6 games, you can make a great case that this will be the tightest game. And if you had to pick one, or I had to pick one, that goes down to the last possession, this would be the one I picked, Phoebus and Heritage. Not saying that's the best game or it's the two best teams or most compelling matchup. I just think this one has the strongest likelihood to be the tightest throughout.
Well, Matt, what I want to do in this last segment, because you know it too, we're always up against the time, and I don't want that music to start playing because I got to cut you out. Tameka has the schedule in front of her. I'm going to have Tameka intro the game, all right, and then you give a quick synopsis of that game because we've only talked about the 2 locals. I think that was the Phoebus and Lake Taylor games. So I'm going to have her go over it. I'm going to make sure she has the schedule in front of me. We'll just go right down and including the Phoebus and Lake Taylor so that we get everything in before we have to get out of here. Tameka, what you got there, that first game?
Not a problem. We have Manchester, who's 14-0 versus Freedom, 13-1. Then we have Highlands.
Let's stop right there, Tameka. Let Matt go over that one first.
Okay.
Well, in a nutshell, you're looking at a Manchester team that has just been absolutely astonishing statistically. The most dominant team in terms of raw numbers, points scored and allowed since Hampton in 1996. They're averaging almost 55 points per game, giving up just 4.5 per game. They have the great quarterback going to Notre Dame, and Brendan Clark at 33 touchdowns and 1 intercept. But Freedom has the all-time leading rusher in Prince William County in Taekwon Brown. He's coming off a shoulder injury sustained in that win over previous three-time state champ Westfield. His health and effectiveness will definitely dictate the tone and tempo of this game, because if Freedom can't run the ball and they have to be one-dimensional, we could see a result similar to what happened with Freedom when they played Lake Taylor on the road and Quest Powell was basically running for his life all day. I think they got to have a healthy Brown to stay close in this game against a Manchester juggernaut.
Okay, now who you got, Matt?
I took Manchester 30-14, a little bit lower scoring than you would expect. I do think the Freedom defense up front will hold well against the run, but ultimately I see Manchester pulling away by multiple scores.
Okay, I got Manchester, I think, too. Tameka, what score did I get?
28-20.
And Tameka, your pick. Now we're going to throw it at you real hard.
I'll take Manchester as well.
Okay, so we're going to Manchester sweeps. What's the next game?
All right, we got Highland Springs and Stonebridge. What do you think?
Highland Springs and Stonebridge, Tameka, have played. This will be the third meeting in 4 years in the state final. I've gone on record saying Highland Springs is the best team I've seen in 10 years in Virginia high school football. They are playing at an exceptional level with the special teams touchdowns, the defensive scores, the non-offensive touchdowns, if you will. They have a great wide receiver in Ollie Jennings going to West Virginia. But this Stonebridge team has morphed into a different animal the second half of the year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They've got two great defensive ends that can apply pressure. They have to be able to block those guys. In particular, Mikael Kamara, if Highland Springs is going to be able to roll in this game. I do think Stonebridge, much like 2 years ago, which Coach Young and I watched at Hampton U, will get out to an early lead, but I do see the explosiveness of Highland Springs erupting at some point. So I took the Springers 27-21 in a closer game than most will expect.
I got Springers a little bit bigger deficit, I think.
33-21.
Yeah, I'm going that way. What you got, Tameka?
I take Highland Springs also.
All right, let's go to 4A.
All right, we're looking at Lake Taylor and Woodgrove, Matt.
You know, to me, as I mentioned earlier, I think Lake Taylor, the way they run the ball, and now they've established that passing game with Jeff Foster and Javon Harvey, who had a 200-yard receiving game against Eastern. There's just too many weapons for Woodgrove to contain, even though they have a couple of big-time players on the defensive line. Nick Lockhart, who's a Virginia Tech baseball commit on the D-line for them, leading the way. They have Ben Castellano, a Richmond commit, a wide receiver. Ultimately, I just can't see Woodgrove winning unless Lake Taylor shoots themselves in the foot with multiple turnovers. I got the Titans 35-20 in that one.
I think I got Lake Taylor, too.
28-14.
And Tameka has?
This is a no-brainer, Lake Taylor.
All right, now let's jump down to Division 2.
All right, we have Heritage Lynchburg going against Phoebus.
Now that's Division 3.
Goochland. And Graham.
You know, Graham has the better defense, the better running game, but Goochland's a better running game, better defense, but Graham has the best player on the field in Cameron Allen. He's going to Purdue. He's a 6'2" quarterback, defensive back. He's accounted for 57 touchdowns this year and over 4,000 yards from scrimmage. His touchdowns from the quarterback spot rank up there with some of the all-time greats in Virginia high school league history, including Ronald Curry from Hampton and Vic Hall of Gretna. I think Allen will make plays in the fourth quarter to put it away. Goochland's been a great story under a first-year coach in Alex Fruth, but I got Graham winning at 34-20.
I got Goochland. What score do I have?
24-18.
Okay, so you got to break the tie, Tameka.
I think I want to go with Graham.
Okay, y'all take Graham. I'm going to celebrate Goochland winning.
Oh, remember this, Tameka. Ed had Goochland start of the year to win Class 2, so he will look like a genius if he's right today.
Absolutely.
Start to finish.
What did he know that we did not? Huh?
Start to finish. I like the name Goochland. The Goochers.
The Goochers.
And let's go to Single A.
Bulldogs.
All right, we're back to Heritage Lynchburg versus Phoebus. Let's talk about that.
I mean, you mean Chilhowie Riverheads, right?
Yeah, let's go to Single A. Single A, is it on there? Maybe I didn't give it to her.
Oh, it's on the back. Chilhowie and Riverheads.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time Ed made a mistake there, Tameka. But no, Chilhowie's 14-0. I think they're athletically as good, if not better, than Riverheads. The thing is the mental. This is kind of the physical talent and athleticism is there with Chilhowie. They've got a ton of weapons with Zach Kale at quarterback, Greg Sanchez at running back. Riverheads are just a machine, a well-oiled machine. They're going for their sixth title, third in a row. Coach Robert Casto has been just a wizard out there. They pound the rock. They have a running back closing in on almost 2,000 yards in Zach Smiley. In the end, I think this is going to be a good one, and I got Riverheads winning it at overtime, 26-20.
I got Riverheads, too.
Yeah, Riverheads. Let's go.
So we're going to go sweet with Riverheads all the way through. And, of course, we did talk earlier about the Phoebus matchup with the local team, Heritage, out of Lynchburg. And, Matt, you're going with Heritageburg. You're going with the Heritage team out of Lynchburg. I'm going with Phoebus. And Tameka's going with
Phoebus.
All right, so we're ganging up on Matt on that one.
Yeah, I took the Pioneers 21-16, and we literally have the ball getting placed down as Phoebus will be kicking off first to Heritage of Lynchburg here from Arthur L. Williams Stadium at Liberty University in Lynchburg.
Well, look, you're getting started, and we're going to finish up. The music's starting to play, so I'm going to let you go, Matt. There's been some talk about trying to keep Tameka on here permanent, so either you got to go or I got to go. So right now the vote is 5-0. We hate to see you go, but, we'll think about you often.
Matt, we're going to create Travel Talk Radio for you. How's that sound?
Well, it's all right because I'm sure Coach will have an assignment soon, so maybe it can be the Tameka and Matt show before January starts.
I absolutely love it.
Oh, my God. I'll believe that when I see it. He's a diehard star. He's one of them guys smoking stogies. Doggone women don't belong. They belong in a kitchen. They don't belong in a radio station.
No, we can change that. Matt's my kind of guy.
That's Matt. Hey, Matt, man, I appreciate it. I'll see you next week when you're back in here. I won't be around December 22nd. I'll just throw that out there now.
I'll be here.
All right, Matt. Hey, man, we'll talk to you soon.
Enjoy your weekend. Take care now.
All right. Matt Hatfield, the regular co-host of High School Sports Talk here on Saturday mornings. He's out in Lynchburg. Phoebus, Heritage of Lynchburg, kicking off. They already kicked off. It's first down out there. We wish the Phoebus Phantoms well, and of course Lake Taylor's Titans are out there today, hoping they win a state title. For all our guests that we had on here, Clint Wright, J.D. Daniel, Kenny Harris, we've had behind the glass the one and only Thomas Simmons, making everything go right. I'm the guy who's normally on that side of the microphone, and that's Ed Young. And my special thanks to a great lady who really added a lot to this show, and I'm saying it only because I mean it. I love what she did today, and if you want to hear more about her, tell Matt Hatfield, get Tameka Paine in here more. Tameka, thank you, young lady.
Thank you.
All right, High School Sports Talk, ESPN Radio 94.1. Next week, good Lord willing, out of here. Enjoy your day.